Hey tea heads, this is Don from Mayleaf. Today is a huge day at Mayleaf HQ because we finally get to unbox and reveal to all of you tea heads out there the most hotly anticipated piece of teaware, not just of the past year, but probably of the past couple of years. We are proud to introduce you to the Gong Fu Code. This is our latest pro-level Gong Fu tea tray, and I'm so happy to reveal it to you today. We're going to unbox it, we're going to be talking about the thinking behind this tea tray, and then we're going to be giving it its inaugural session. For those of you who don't know, the Gong Fu Guru was launched over 3 years ago, and it has become an icon of modern Gong Fu culture, at least in our eyes. We have had countless sessions on this baby here, both on and off camera. We absolutely love it. We discontinued it a year ago, and since then we have been inundated with messages on all of our socials, emails, phone calls asking us, when is the Gong Fu Guru coming back? But we told you at the time it was never going to come back. We were never going to repeat the Gong Fu Guru, and we've been working very hard on its successor. So I'm going to put the Guru down here, and we're going to be focusing our attention on the Gong Fu Code. So about 6 months before we decided to discontinue the Gong Fu Guru, we began thinking about what its successor would be or should look like, or how it would function. And you know, it was very, very difficult because the Gong Fu Guru really, in terms of design, was well thought out. We didn't have any real improvements that we wanted to do in terms of the functionality. And in terms of the aesthetics, we loved it as well. So there was no point in introducing just another Gong Fu tea tray that just had a different pattern on it, that didn't have some sort of meaning, that didn't have some sort of intention, that didn't have some sort of relevance. And so I thought very, very long and hard about it. I have to say that I hit a sort of creative block. It was very, very difficult to try to figure out what to do next with this tea tray. And it took many, many, many months, I have to say. Lots and lots of thinking. I was always sort of going back at it, trying to think, trying to really find some inspiration. And it was really interesting because beginning of this year, I was meditating in the morning, and at the end of my meditation session, just when I started to sort of come back to the world and use my mind again, this concept came to me. And it was really interesting because it came really out of my subconscious, or it came out of a very still mind, and it really reminded me that whilst, you know, we always are active with our thinking, actually our subconscious mind is constantly working in the background to help us to solve, you know, problems and to find solutions in our lives. And this came to me in a real moment, and it was really interesting because I just knew it was going to be called the Gong Fu Code. And after that, everything was much easier. The inspiration started to flow. We worked really, really hard on the designs of this, and I'm so happy to reveal it to you today. So what is the Gong Fu Code, or why are we calling it the Gong Fu Code? Well, on one hand, tea is a code for you to decode, right? It is a language for you to decode. It has so much complexity. There's all of the understanding that you need to unravel as you get into your tea journey. But more important than that, I think that the Gong Fu Code represents a code of living, or a way of living. And it's a code which is a sort of a promise to yourself. And I'm hoping that people who use this tea tray will have this intention of living the Gong Fu Code throughout their day in the most subtle way. Every time that they brew with a Gong Fu Code, they're going to be imbuing that moment with this way of living. If you've not seen our videos on how tea can make you a happier person, or our videos on tea and impermanence, I'll put links in the description below. But put simply, I really am passionately a believer in the fact that tea and Gong Fu tea can contribute so much positivity to your life, much further beyond just being a beverage to enjoy. I think that tea brings you happiness by bringing you back to the moment. It brings you back to the moment through the aesthetics of the tea brewing, through the attention that you need to give to the tea brewing, through the act of tasting and enjoyment, through the act of trying to find memories to relate to those tasting notes. It also brings happiness through the L-theanine and the catechins and all of those compounds and terpenes in tea that are going to affect your mood, either make you happier, make you relaxed, make you energized, or make you a little bit tea drunk. Gong Fu brewing and tea drinking also fosters very strong relationships with nature. As you start to get in touch with tea, you start to appreciate the terroir, the nature, and every time you brew, you're having a direct line back to those mountains where the tea or tisane grew. But it also fosters strong quality relationships with other people. Every time you sit down with friends, with family, or with strangers, and you share that moment in time with Gong Fu tea as your centerpiece, you will build strong quality relationships. It reveals the illusion of tribalism. It reveals the illusion of division, and you build strong relationships. And we know that quality relationships are fundamental to a happier, more positive life. I also think that tea celebrates impermanence. The fact that tea will never be the same, that you will never drink the same cup of tea twice, is something that you have to not just accept, but celebrate in tea, just as you have to accept and celebrate it in life. And the more that you can celebrate impermanence, the fact that everything is in flux and everything will always be changing, the more that you can deal with life's ups and downs in a positive frame of mind. So all of these aspects and more are part of the Gong Fu Code, a way of living, a way of understanding life. And I'm hoping that every time you sit down and have a tea session with the Gong Fu Code, that is going to be overlaid into your day, and that intention and that positive message is going to seep into every single moment that you drink tea. Now, there's a top box here. We're going to be focusing on that top box a little bit later, but let's turn our attention to this baby here. Here she is, the Gong Fu Code. So the moment that I had that moment after meditating and I knew what this teaware needed to be about, I started working on thoughts about designs, and I realized that what I wanted was a code that you could decode, but also sort of had a feel of scripture in some way, without being religious, non-denominational, anything like that, but something that was symbolic of the message that I was just talking about. And so we took the most universal, the most non-denominational code possible, which is the Morse code, and we created designs around Morse code to make it look a little bit more aesthetically beautiful and had that feel of scripture, again, without being religious in any way or denominational in any way. So here it is, the Gong Fu Code Pro Level Gong Fu Tea Tray. This is the box, plenty of information on the box, some code for you to decode. I have not revealed what this means. Same on this side. You can see the whole box here has been lavished with information and code, but I know you want to see inside, so let's open this baby up. Put this box down. So here we have it. Let's put her this way. So here she is, the Gong Fu Code. We'll get some close-up shots so you can see it in detail. I'm going to go through all of the features here. Right, so here she is. You've got the bamboo box and you've got this beautiful, beautiful sort of rose gold stainless steel here. So pretty. Very similar to the Guru, but a completely different design, and we found a new factory here to work the metal slightly differently. I love the job they've done on here. The size of the bamboo box has been tweaked as well. We felt that the Gong Fu Guru was a little bit oversized. So if you see the Gong Fu Guru here, This is slightly more streamlined, a bit lower profile. Also, the Gong Fu Guru is slightly bigger, you know, about just under a centimeter on width and diameter. We felt that this size was just a little bit more streamlined, a little bit more efficient use of space. We don't have a bottom tray here, so we don't have those latches that we had on the Gong Fu Guru, because we're not including any teapots or teacups with this. This is a standalone tea tray. We've gotten a lot of feedback saying, you know, please, we just want the tray because of the fact that we have our own teaware. We want to decide which teaware we want to use. So we listened to that feedback. We just focused on crafting the most beautiful tea tray possible. Let's quickly look inside. So the code comes with a towel, our Gaiwan Styles tea towel, essential for all tea sessions, showing you different grips of holding your Gaiwan. It comes with a little note from me with some care instructions, with again some code for you to decode. It comes with a strainer, very, very important, of course, to put into this hole here, so I'll put that aside. It's like Christmas. And it comes with something else, but I'll explain this little baby a little bit later. Inside you've got waterproofed bamboo, so it is all waterproof, but we like to give you that extra bit of care so that your bamboo stays in top quality for many, many years. We've created this Mayleaf Blue ABS insert for you to fit in, which will keep all of your water. Large capacity, even though we've reduced the height of the Guru, it still contains a huge amount of water. You're definitely going to be going through some mammoth sessions to fill this one up. So, tray goes on, strainer goes in, you know the drill. Now let's take a look at the design. On the bamboo itself, you've got the Mayleaf logo, and on the top, laser cut in, is the code. So this is Morse code, which has been obviously made more aesthetically pretty. This has meaning. I will read for you. This is the only code that I am decoding on this. All the packaging is has some more code on it. But this says, just so you understand, tea is a timeless voyage enriching us with the majesty of the moment. Brew with reverence, taste with passion. That's what this says on it. So I'm hoping that every time you brew on it and every time you have a session, that message is going to be just resonating through your sessions. Okay, so you've got the Mayleaf logo here, you've got the transcription of the code here. As I said, we don't do that through the packaging, but here I wanted that reminder every time you are brewing. And you'll see down here some little dots here, some little holes which are clearly not part of the Morse code design, and that's where this little fella comes in. So this is our latest tea pet. This is our little frog. And the frog has a little peg at its base, and that peg is obviously designed for fitting in this hole here. This is obviously a tea pet, so you can use it just as any other tea pet. It's a color changing tea pet, so it will change color as you pour hot water on it. And the purpose, the dual purpose of this tea pet, apart from being your little partner in crime when you're brewing your tea, is it acts as an infusion counter. So this is infusion number 1, infusion number 2, infusion number 3, 4, 5, and then once you get past 5, I suggest you hop all the way back here so that you remember that you're on 6 and not 4, you're not quite sure, so you hop back. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, etc, etc, etc. So you now have a way built into the tray a way of counting your infusions, because we always forget, well, I do anyway, I always forget which infusion I'm on, and it's quite nice to have that reminder. I also like to use it as a pot lid holder. I will show you that when we go through our inaugural session. So there you go. Rose gold, colored, laser cut, stainless steel, hole for strainer, bamboo, ABS, insert to make sure that your bamboo stays in prime condition for many, many years. Your little teapet counter, which was made specifically for us. We went through many, many different designs. I'll get a close-up of this little fella's face. We went through many, many designs. This was done by craftspeople in China. Lots of frogs didn't make it. This one did in terms of the design, and then we got them made up in color changing material. You got your little instructions for use or more care guide here. There's plenty of information on the website, and a towel. All of that comes with the Gong Fu Code. Right. Now, let me put this aside and let's focus on this one here. This is the Gong Fu Code Satellite. So, you have your Gong Fu Code, but you've also got a bamboo small tray version of it. Same style, same design. You can see the packaging here. This is the Gong Fu Code Satellite. The Gong Fu Code Satellite, you can also just shorten it to the Gong Fu Satellite. Let's open this up. Little friend here. And here you go. I'm gonna turn it this way because that's the correct way. There you go. The Gong Fu Code Satellite. So, very low profile. This is the perfect tea tray for those smaller sessions, those solo sessions when you're drinking with 1 or 2 people, maybe 3 people. You can even brew with 4 people, but very, very portable, very, very light, easy to break out whenever you want a session. It has the Mayleaf logo on the front. It has the Morse code, albeit we had to simplify the design slightly because we had to use a router for this rather than laser cutting, because laser cutting burnt the bamboo and left it with a smell that wasn't what we wanted. Every time you poured hot water, you could just smell that charred wood, which would interfere with your session. But it's got the holes here, of course, for another one of our little friends to sit in. There you go. Very, very happily sitting there. So this is the Gong Fu Satellite. The message is different, of course. This one says, let every sip evaporate ego and bring us closer to presence. Let every sip evaporate ego and bring us closer to presence. Another message which I hope that you agree is part of the sort of culture of Gong Fu tea brewing, is the evaporation of ego, bringing you back to the moment, bringing you back to the present, and all of the power that the present has to inspire you and shed negativity that comes from the past or thinking about the future, just focusing on the moment. Inside here, you have another towel and you have another code, and again, care instructions here. We don't have a strainer here because that would take up way too much space if I put a hole in this top, but inside is another ABS Mayleaf blue insert. As I said before, the bamboo is waterproof, so you can use it without the tray, but we like that extra neat little inlay, and you can use it to just empty your water out. It's just such a nice way to keep everything very, very clean. So there you have it. That's the Gong Fu Satellite. So the Gong Fu Satellite comes with the frog teapot, the Gong Fu Satellite, some care instructions and a towel. The Gong Fu Code comes with the strainer, the teapot, a towel, and again, some care instructions. Now, of course, this satellite is designed for smaller brewing, smaller sessions, for solo or up to 4 people, as I said. You can also put it inside your Gong Fu story compartment. We made sure of that. That's the right size for this. So if you've got a Gong Fu story, then you can always use the satellite in your Gong Fu story. In fact, I'm thinking that I might just turn all Gong Fu stories into including satellites. We're thinking about that, so you may want to keep your eye on the website for that. For those of you who don't know about the Gong Fu story, this is the best way to set your tea sessions free, travel all over and have tea sessions wherever you are. Liberate yourself with the Gong Fu story. I'll put a link to a video about that in the description below. But also, and this is key here, let me put this away a little bit because it's starting to get a bit cluttered with all my goodies. Also, the Gong Fu Satellite is designed to fit inside the code, like so. Right, so you can get both the Gong Fu Code and the Gong Fu Satellite. It will sit very, very neatly in here, and you have both trays so you can do small sessions and large sessions, but even more important than that, you can do mammoth, celebratory tea sessions, the kind we like it at Mayleaf. If you want to do double drop sessions, you really want to splurge out, have lots of friends around and do a big tea, Gong Fu tea extravaganza, then the satellite has been designed as a Gong Fu Code extender. So you can extend your sessions in a couple of ways. One way is to brew one type of tea here and another type of tea here, and you can obviously use your infusion counters separately, so you always can keep track of which infusion you are on. So you can do 2 teas at the same time. You could even do much more. Of course, you could do 2 teas here and a few teas there. So it just extends your ability to have lots of different brews out on the table at any one time. Also, I really like to use it as a sort of tiered serving platter. So I brew here and I serve on this satellite, so I don't get any cups here. That means I can have 2, 3 teas here. I can be doing my brewing, and if you want service, then you need to put your cup on the satellite. One of the most annoying things I think about Gong Fu sessions sometimes is, especially when you've got quite a few people, is you're sort of fishing around trying to serve people with your gong dao bei, trying to find the cup. Where's your cup? And trying to fill it. This way it simplifies it. If you want your tea, put your cup on the satellite. If it's not there, you're not getting served. So everyone just gets into the habit of putting their cup on the satellite. It's so nice. It just calms everything down. You can just brew and serve, brew and serve. I love it, and it makes the top surface of the code completely clear for your brewing. So you can use it as an extender, and I highly recommend that you do. There you go. So Gong Fu Code for your big sessions, Gong Fu Satellite for your smaller sessions, the 2 together for your celebratory sessions. One fits in the other, and the satellite fits in the story. That's the design thinking. Let's turn on the kettle and have some tea. You know it's a party when the Jade Star 4 comes out to play. Yeah, come on. It has to be, right? Jade Star 4. We're going to be drinking this in our Nafu Master Wu teapot. If you've not seen this, this is my teapot of choice in the most recent weeks. Love this little teapot. Go check it out online. I'll put a link in the description below. Master Wu in full effect, doing his thing in style as always. All right, I'm going to break off a nice big chunk of this. So you can see beside me, the Gong Fu Satellite has got what, 6 cups there. You could definitely fit more. An example of how great it is as an extender, a serving extender, leaves all of this clear for you to do your brewing. I absolutely love the extender side of the Satellite, but I have to say, when I'm by myself, I'll pick up this over this, just simply because it's so easy. Just grab it, very, very easy. And here we go into our Master Wu pot. Oh, I should really heat it up first. Let me quickly heat up this pot. I'm not going to do a full session here. You've already seen my session with Jade Star, if you haven't, go check it out. Let's take a look at this frog changing color. I'll just put it here so you can see. So you can move the frog around anywhere. You can see as long as there's space for the little peg to go down. See, changes to a nice sort of golden green color. Right, back in Infusion number 1 counter. Let's put this Jade Star in here. Once again, the ease of this big hole, clear up any of your mess. Inaugural session with this code. Give the tea a rinse. Look at the pour on that. Look at the pour on that. Ah, Master Wu. Love the work that comes out of his studio. Have a little smell, can't resist. Oh, so jammy. Incredible raspberries and strawberry jams coming through. Ooh, lovely. Let's give Froggy another little dousing. There you go, pour the rest away. So you can use like this, of course, or you can have the extender. I think if you've got like 4 or 5 people, then 6 people, you could even serve more on the Gong Fu Code. But even when I've been sitting with 4 or 5 people, I just can't help myself but bring out the extender. I can't tell you, there's something really lovely about that 2-tiered thing, or as I said, the double drop, but I tend to use it as, this is my brewing, that's my serving. Right. As with the Guru, you know when this tray needs emptying. If you get to that point, then congratulations, because that's a lot of tea rinse that you're putting in the code. You know, because when you start to see water rise above the bottom of that strainer, that's your signal to stop and to empty the ABS tray. Very, very simple. All of the trays have finger grooves here. Pick them up by the finger grooves. That's the safest way to carry these trays, especially the Code, because it is a little bit heavier with this metal tray, and that weight is so nice. You know, you really feel like you're having a session, but just grab here or grab underneath, but don't pinch the sides, because then you risk potentially damaging the tray. Right, now, what I like to do is, after I've poured off, obviously, as you know, you should remove the lids to allow the leaves to steam. What I like to do is use the frog, if you can, as a little, you see that? As a little lid holder. Now obviously that doesn't work with a Guy 1, but if you've got a teapot, it tends to work. So you can see here as well, totally covering it. Now the reason why I do that is, for me, I can be a little bit forgetful. I get caught up in my session. And what I like about that is, the next time I'm going to pick up that lid is when I've poured my second infusion and I'm putting the lid back on. And that reminds me, oh, hop the frog over to the next hole so that I can count my infusions properly. What am I drinking in? Let's drink in this little baby here. Cheers. Ah, lovely. Deep, rich, herbal, fruity. Jade Star, I don't want to talk about it too much because you've seen a whole video of me talking about it, but it is a wonderful aged white tea. There you have it. Every time you are next filling up your pot, you will then take your lid and you will move your frog. As I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then jump back here, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's what I recommend. You could start here and go this way. Up to you, depending on your preference. You can, of course, reverse the tea tray. It's fully reversible, so if you wanted the strainer on this side, you can. Some people like it in different ways, but that's up to you. It has been designed this way. That way is the way to read the Morse code. And as I said, my hope here is that this really starts to imbue your life with an overlay of this code, this idea of a way of living, and not just a way of living, but a promise to yourself. It's a code which is like the Boy Scouts code or whatever it is. It's a code, a promise to yourself to always remember to live a more positive life. And I hope that tea will act as your beacon to always point you in the direction of positivity, no matter what is happening in your life. And all of the aspects that we talked about, all of those positive attributes that tea and Gong Fu brings, my deepest desire is that all of those positive attributes that we have now built into and distilled into the Gong Fu Code and the Gong Fu Satellite, that message, that intention will emanate out of every single tea session that you have on these tea trays, and just bring more positivity, more happiness, and more celebration to your life. That's it, tea heads. Check out our other videos, taste our teas wherever you are in the world by browsing mayleaf.com, and come visit us if you're ever in London. Other than that, thank you for being a part of the revelation of true tea. Stay away from those tea bags. Keep drinking the good stuff and spread the word, because nobody deserves bad tea. Bye.